Hi, and welcome to a new video here on Ryan Talks Tech. So in today's video we're going to be taking a look at a new pair of headphones that I've never featured on the channel before, and these are the Bose Quiet Comfort Ultra 2nd generation. Now I have featured the 1st generation, but that was strictly a comparison video between the 1st generation and the Bowers & Wilkins PX8. But today we're not going to be doing a comparison. We're just going to be strictly looking at the Bose Quiet Comfort Ultra 2nd generation. Let's get into it. So we're going to start by covering build quality. Now on these headphones you'll find synthetic leather, plastic and aluminum. So aluminum is these sliders here for adjusting the headphones. Plastic is here on the ear cups. Plastic on the top of the headband and the other ear cup as well. Then your synthetic leather is on the side of the headband that actually touches your head, and the ear cups. So that's what you're going to find materials wise, and to be honest it is genuinely good build quality. There's not really too many creaks that come from these. There is the odd one or two, but nothing noticeable really. And they are very, very comfortable. So build quality, really good. I can't fault it. Maybe using a little bit more metal would have been nice, but other than that, it is good. But the only other thing I can say about the build quality, and I really wish Bose would change this, but I can't see them doing it because they've not done it for quite a long time. But they used to use an Alcantara-like material for the headband. And I think the last time they did that was the 1st generation of the Quiet Comfort 35s, which was quite a number of years ago now. But that was just a tier above the synthetic leather in my opinion. I preferred it personally. Not that there's anything wrong with the synthetic leather, I just preferred the Alcantara material. But like I say, they've not done that in quite a long time. But if they could bring that back in a future generation, I would really appreciate it, because the Alcantara-like material, it's one of the best in my opinion. Now we're going to move on to sound quality. So now let's cover sound quality then. So sound quality on these is very good, as you would expect from a name like Bose. The bass is very good, which I was actually quite surprised by, because there's been a few Bose speakers recently where I've not been too impressed by the bass. I've never had that problem with the headphones, but there's a few Bose speakers where the bass just doesn't live up to my expectations. But that's not the case on the Quiet Comfort Ultra 2nd gen headphones. The bass is absolutely fine on these, and I'm more than happy with it. And for some people, they even say it's a little too much. But if you're one of them people who feel that way, not to worry, because in the Bose app, you can tone the bass down to whatever you like. Then it moves on to things like the mids and the trebles. All very good, very clear, very detailed, as you would expect. But in my original video of the Quiet Comfort Ultra 1st gen versus the Bowers & Wilkins PX8, I do have to say the Bowers & Wilkins PX8 are still the best. They are better than the 2nd gen, and they are better than the 1st gen. Not by absolutely tons, but by enough that you will probably notice if you are like really toned into your sound. The Bowers & Wilkins just provide that next level of details that the Bose haven't quite got. They are very detailed, and I'm not saying they don't sound good by any stretch of the imagination, but the Bowers & Wilkins are just a slight tier above in the detail you get from the sound quality. Now we're going to talk about the noise cancelling. So noise cancelling on these is impeccable. Bose are widely regarded as the king of noise cancelling, and I think they've kept that title with the Quiet Comfort Ultra 2nd gen. It really is good. In fact, it's a tier above the 1st gen, so they are making improvements, but the improvements between the 2nd gen and the 1st gen are only slight, so if you've already got the 1st gen, I wouldn't bother upgrading this generation. But the noise cancelling is slightly better on these than it is on the 1st gen, but not by much. And another thing as well is wind. When you're outside, you notice with a lot of headphones, mainly earbuds more than headphones, but headphones too, that the sound of the wind can often, reverberate, I think would be the best way of putting it, inside the headphones. And It's not a very pleasant sound, but these are quite good at that. You don't get much of that at all. You do get a little bit, but there's not much there at all, so they are good with that. Now we're going to touch on the headphone case, which is kind of the last thing really to touch on. And I'm really grateful with what Bose have done here. They've kept the case nice and compact, whereas some other manufacturers are now including big cases. And I don't like that because they're fine, they will fit in your bag, but it's just easier to have a smaller case. And the way you put the headphones in the case is you simply fold them just like that, and they fit in the case nice and easily, like so. And you do have a little pouch here. I don't think you can really see it on camera, but that's for things like your cables, so your wired audio cable if you want that, and you know, your charging cable and different things like that. So it's very helpful to have a small case, and it's nice to have the pouch as well for storing your cables. The case is a hard shell case, so your headphones are going to be pretty safe in here. And overall, these are another great pair of headphones from Bose. I can't really fault them. I've been very impressed with these. I've not had the best experience with some Bose headphones. My worst pair I probably used was the noise cancelling 700s. I had a lot of problems with them. They just wouldn't connect. They sometimes wouldn't turn on. I've not had anything like that with the Quiet Comfort Ultra 2nd Gen. So I really do recommend these, but only if you don't have the 1st gen. If you've already got the 1st gen, I wouldn't bother. You can if you want, obviously, it's your money, your choice. But just in my personal opinion, if you've got the 1st gen, I wouldn't bother upgrading this time. But if you've not got any, then yeah, I definitely recommend the 2nd gen. And if you don't want to spend quite as much on the 2nd gen, at the moment Bose have got some really good deals on the 1st gen as well. And the 1st gen isn't quite as good as these, but it's not a million miles apart. So if you'd rather save £100 or so and get the 1st gen, then that's absolutely fine as well. Now, regarding the Quiet Comfort Ultra earbuds, I've never had the 1st gen and I've currently not got the 2nd gen. However, I have got the 2nd gen on order and I should be receiving them very soon. So when I do, I'll be releasing a review on them. So please come back and check that out. And I hope you've enjoyed this video. So my overall thoughts, great pair of headphones, definitely recommended. And yeah, I really can't fault them. But yeah, I do hope you've enjoyed this video. I know it's been a short one, but there's not really a lot to cover with these headphones. They are just good, and there's not really that much else to say about them. So yeah, I do hope you've enjoyed the video. Please like it if you have enjoyed, and please subscribe to the channel and turn on that notification bell so you don't miss out on any future uploads. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.